Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this predictions video for NXT Vengeance Day. We will be doing the watch along on Saturday. If you're around, stop by, share your thoughts, share your theories. We're going to be starting hours before the show. We always do. And what a show it promises to be. This is going to be coming from Washington, from this arena actually. It goes by the snappy name of the Entertainment and Sports Arena. So very imaginative. I think they have actually renamed it recently to the Care First Arena, but that's not the name that NXT WWE are referring to it as. It's the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington. So this is where we're going to be. It can hold around about 4,000, 5,000 people. Perfect for NXT, of course, and as we said, should be a really fun show. Let's go through the cards. We're obviously going to talk about the potential for surprises. We're going to talk about that group as well, but let's start with, I don't know the match order, of course, so we'll just sort of work our way through. So let's start with this. Trick Williams against Eddy Thorpe in a strap match. Now, obviously, this has been quite heated, and I am thinking that Trick is probably not going to stay too long in NXT. He's kind of won the NXT Championship twice. I feel like there's not really anywhere else for him to go or anything else for him to do other than just keep having feuds and keep getting TV time. But really, it's time for him to go to the main roster now. And I'm a big fan of Trick Williams. I think that his in-ring could definitely do with a little bit more. You know, if you look back on his career, I don't know, there's too many like 5-star matches jumping out, so definitely some development still to be done there, but I like his promos, I love his aura, his presentation, his look. You know, this guy has already got so much going for him, and I think he's going to go to the main roster sooner rather than later. So with that being said, does he need the win here? Because I think Eddy Thorpe could really benefit from getting some momentum. So I am leaning Eddy Thorpe here. I'm thinking Eddy Thorpe getting a big statement victory could be very useful for Eddy Thorpe. So I'm going to go that way. But honestly, it's very, very close because, of course, chances are Trick Williams, if he is going up to the main roster, won't be going up until after WrestleMania. So it could be that Trick wins here, we do a rematch, Eddy Thorpe could win there. So it's very like 50-50, but I'll go Eddy Thorpe. Then on this one, feel a lot more confident here that the champ is going to retain. I think it's either going to be Giulia or Cora Jade. Obviously, Bayley is only visiting. Roxanne is very much on her way to the main roster. So that really just leaves Giulia or Cora Jade. And we've only just recently put the belt on Giulia. So are we really going to take it off of her already? I don't think so. So I think this is going to be pretty straightforward that Giulia gets the job done. Here we have got Fallon against Stephanie. I think Stephanie gets this. The only way Stephanie doesn't win this championship, because to be honest, the top end of the card is quite busy. So, you know, we could get Cora versus Giulia in a one-on-one match after Vengeance Day. Jordynne Grace is not that far away, and word on the street is she'll be coming into NXT. The women's division is stacked. I don't know when we're going to get to Stephanie. So, you know, she could have a little run here with this championship whilst Giulia is having a run with the NXT Women's Championship. So I am going to go Stephanie, but we know that Fallon is in a group. We know that group's going to make their presence felt. It could very much be a case that JC Jane, Jasmine Nix are going to be the ones that stop Stephanie from getting the title, but I'm going to go with Stephanie becoming a new champion, right? Then we've got these matches that were only added on Tuesday. So Javon has accepted the challenge of Ethan Page. Ethan said, I'll face you as long as you can get medically cleared. And he has, and so he's accepted. And so this match is now underway. I think Ethan should win this. I'm a big Javon Evans fan, but I think Ethan is a good wrestler. He's someone that's clearly got a bright future. They're clearly investing a lot in him, but I don't think he should be losing to a broken Javon Evans. This is not a 100% Javon Evans. The story here is that Javon has had his jaw broken. He's had it all wired up and everything. Even the doctors have said, I don't advise that you do this, but if you really want to, I will medically clear you. And so, this is not 100%. I think he's looking for revenge. He's looking to cause pain. He can absolutely do that, but ultimately Ethan Page gets the win. Ethan Page gets the win, but doesn't really leave looking like the winner. I think Javon could get that revenge, but unfortunately find himself getting DQ'd, or find himself just being outmaneuvered, or maybe that jaw gets busted again. So I'm going to go with Ethan Page on that one. Then we got the tag titles. This is going to be Fraxiom against Josh Briggs and Inamura. Don't know much about Briggs and Inamura. We've seen them in some backstage segments. Haven't really seen loads of them in ring. Hard to see the champs dropping the titles here. This would be a big shock because Fraxiom are undeniably one of the best tag teams in all of professional wrestling right now. And Briggs and Inamura are just sort of thrown together. I just sort of feel like we're getting them a bit of TV time. Inamura, I don't know when he goes back. I think he's from Noah, so I don't know when he goes back to Noah. We could give him a title run here, but are they really the team that should get the belts from Fraxiom? I mean, look, if this show wants a big moment, you could take the belts off Fraxiom and then have Fraxiom split. Like, that's been teased for so long. But I don't think it's here. I don't get the vibe it's here. So I'm going to say that Fraxiom retain. Then we get to our main event, and of course this is the triple threat. This is A-Town Down Under in a triple threat against Oba Femi. So it's Oba versus Grayson versus Austin Theory. It's got to be Oba. I mean, we know that these two guys are up on Raw. I mean, honestly, it could be a case there's nothing for them this side of WrestleMania, and a little NXT title run could be on the cards. NXT is eating good at the moment when it comes to ratings. You put that belt on Theory or Grayson Waller, and that's going to help the ratings because they're decent names. They're not massive like a Becky or a Seth, but, they've been on TV on the main roster a fair bit, so I don't know. There's a couple of schools of thought here. I think Oba's got this in the bag, and I'm sure you think Oba's got this in the bag, but there's a very slight outside chance that these guys just don't have anything for WrestleMania, and actually NXT is going to be a place for them to stay for a little while. And if that is the case, one of them could leave with the NXT Championship. But I'm going to go with Oba. That's the direction that I think is most likely. And so we'll head in that direction. And then, of course, those are all the matches. So we got the NXT Women's title, the NXT Women's North American. We've got the tag title, the NXT Championship. Lots of championships being defended. But this is what so many people are excited for. This group have made their presence felt at the end of the show with this little silhouette group meeting image, and then these images of their masks that seem to be like different skull patterns, very Shield-esque. Lots of speculation as to who these people are, but honestly, that speculation seems to have been kind of answered in a satisfactory way. So here you can see Pushrath saying, Shaquan Sugars, Cutler James, Keanu Carver and Dion Lennox. Now, Dion Lennox is someone we've been seeing a fair bit of, but we haven't seen in about 3 weeks, I believe. And these are people which are waiting to kind of make their mark. We haven't really seen them yet on NXT. So these are up-and-coming NXT talents, but I believe from the indie scene, where they've made a bit of a name for themselves. This is really interesting. Some people thinking this could turn out to be Ricky Starks, which it absolutely could. The only thing I know is that all 4 have been speculated on, and there is a feeling that people know who these people are, but that doesn't mean that people are correct, right? That could end up being Ricky Starks, but at the moment, I'm probably leaning more towards that it isn't. Right? Probably leaning more towards it isn't, but people feeling quite comfortable that they know who these are, right? And these are the names that are circulating. So this group could really change things. The way they're hyping them up is very sort of similar to like when Undisputed Era arrived. You know, that's the kind of thing I'm thinking. Yes, very strong Shield vibes, but Shield was... I don't know, like a main roster thing, really. We did get them around NXT, but they weren't really in NXT all that long because NXT had only just really started. You know, it was a bit of a talent contest and then it changed to its own brand. And really, by the time that we're getting the Shield hitting the main roster, you know, they weren't really around the new NXT very much. So Undisputed Era is what I'm thinking. That group just changed NXT. Absolutely changed NXT. All of a sudden, everything seemed to revolve around them. Certainly Adam Cole, who was such a big name in the company. I wonder who that leader is going to be here. I mean, if that is Ricky Starks, maybe he will play that sort of Adam Cole role of being the leader and having lots of things circulating around, you know. Will one of them go after the North American? Will one of them go after the NXT? Will 2 of them go after the tag titles? You know, again, very Undisputed Era. So, very excited for this. This is the big thing that everyone's waiting for, to find out the identities. But who are they going to attack? Who are they going to go after? Who are they going to make their presence felt against? You know, will they pop up just at the end of the show to introduce themselves? Will it be a case there's a backstage attack? Will they go after Oba Femi? Will they go after A-Town Down? Are they faces? Are they heels? Do they go after Fraxiom? We just don't know. So many questions, and this really is part of the excitement. So looking forward to this a lot. Really looking forward to this. And we're going to have to get some of those answers on Saturday. And then just a few surprises that we could potentially get. So we know that Josh Alexander's contract expires, I believe, on Friday, which means as of Saturday, he is a free agent. So that should mean, I mean, it's going to be a real quick turnaround, but, you know, WWE have got a relationship with TNA. They absolutely could already be in conversation with Josh Alexander. So could it be a case that he makes his mark on Saturday at NXT? Obviously, we don't know if there'll be any other TNA talent, actually signed talent, that make their mark. I mean, I sort of feel like there's a chance that Masha Slamovich could get involved in that women's match to cost Cora Jade. We know there's a bit of a feud, a bit of a situation there, so we could get something along those lines. We could get the Hardys confronting Fraxiom. That's a dream match that people are hoping for. So, you know, imagine that Fraxiom win, and then all of a sudden the Hardy Boys come walking out. Like, that's a very possible situation. And then Miro, of course. We don't really have too many brutes. We don't really have too many people of this size in NXT that, you know, I know some people will be like, oh, he couldn't come back to NXT. But let me just remind you about when Drew McIntyre left. When he came back, he went through the NXT system. NXT shouldn't just be looked at as developmental. It should be looked at as a third brand as well. It's on TV. It's fighting for ratings. You know, they want that show to do well, WWE, because, of course, They want to keep renewing the TV deal and keep getting more and more money for it. And so it's in their interest to make sure that this is a successful brand as well as their developmental. One of the ways you do that is by putting in like big names, decent names. You know, Ricky Starks coming in, going there. Jordynne Grace coming in, going there. Miro coming back and spending 6 months there would not be the worst. You know, and he does need a bit of a new gimmick as well. I don't think he can come back as Rusev and Rusev Day and all of that. So a new gimmick, a new coat of paint. Maybe we could work that out in NXT as well. So not impossible. Malakai. Malakai is someone that, again, you know, I think they will bring back. Probably should go to the main roster. The reason why I say that is because we don't have too many people like him on the main roster. That sort of darker, spookier side of things. We got the Wyatt Six, Alexa potentially, maybe a little bit of Carrion, but it certainly feels like there's a gap in the market there for Malakai, Aleister Black, if he was to go to the main roster, but equally he may come into NXT. We don't really have anyone doing that in NXT either, outside of maybe a Tatum Paxley and maybe a Wendy Chu. So, you know, there would be a gap there for him. So another potential, Jordynne Grace, we spoke about this. She is signed WWE, and Jordynne Grace will be starting on NXT very soon, according to Fightful. So looks like she's going to come to NXT. I think part of it is because they've already got the main roster sorted. They know what everyone's doing for WrestleMania. They've probably got a little bit post-Mania mapped out as well. So, yeah, that's probably why. And let's just have a look at some of the odds here. So, WWE NXT Championship match, Femi minus 10,000 favorite. Grayson Waller plus 1,000. Austin Theory plus 800. So, Femi, I mean, a monstrous favorite, absolutely huge. You would have to bet $10,000 to win $100, right? That's how big of a favorite he is. WWE NXT Women's Championship match, Giulia minus 4,000, Bayley plus 700, Roxanne plus 900. No odds for Cora. I think Cora would be close. I think she'd be closer than Bayley or Roxanne because both of them are main roster. Cora feels like she's going to stay in NXT, but still Giulia, big favorite. And then NXT Women's North American Championship match, Fallon Henley plus 200. The champ is the underdog. She's going to be taking on Stephanie, who is minus 300. So very, very close. Very, very close there. I mean, look at these numbers compared to these numbers, right? So very, very close, but it is the minus number that's the favorite. That means Stephanie goes in as the favorite according to the bookmakers as of right now. Still plenty of time for that to change, of course. So what will we get from TNA? What surprises will we get? I feel like we're going to get some stuff because they didn't save Ricky Starks for this show. They didn't have Ricky make his debut or make his arrival on this show, and that has got to be for a very good reason. I think it's because they've already got some big talking points planned, maybe some of the things that we've just discussed. I think they've got some of those plans. They didn't want Ricky to get sort of lost in the shuffle a little bit, so that's why they had him debut on Tuesday, but that should get you more excited for Saturday, because that implies that this is going to be a worthwhile show. So there we go. It's WrestleMania season. We're on the road to stand and deliver in NXT terms, and NXT has been on fire. There's no reason to think that Saturday won't be exactly the same as that. So thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.